The stars had always called to humanity. From the moment Earth's first rockets broke through the sky, humans looked outward, dreaming of other worlds. By the late 21st century, humanity had gone far beyond dreams. They had colonies on the Moon, Mars, and even the asteroid belts. Giant spaceports dotted the orbital zones, and starships capable of traveling to neighboring star systems were being tested. Humanity's ambition had no limit, yet ambition often comes with danger. Far beyond Earth's solar system, in a hidden corner of the galaxy, the Galactic Council watched. This assembly of advanced civilizations had rules, and humanity had broken almost all of them without even knowing it. They mined planets too aggressively, sent ships into uncharted regions without clearance, and, worst of all, often ignored alien warnings. Another report from the sector said Lyris, a slender alien with silver scales addressing the council chamber. Her voice hummed with tension. Humans continue their reckless expansion. They are mining uninhabited planets at a rate that could destabilize several star systems. They have been warned repeatedly, yet they ignore every warning. Several members of the council murmured in agreement. A vote had been scheduled. If the council decided, humanity could be exiled, removed from interstellar trade and exploration forever. Meanwhile, on Earth, life continued mostly unaware of the looming threat. In a lab orbiting Earth aboard the research station Aurora 7, Dr. Mira Khan studied an unusual energy signature coming from deep space. The readings were faint but strange, pulsing in ways that did not match any known natural phenomenon. Mira's brow furrowed as she examined the data. "This is impossible," she muttered. The numbers suggested intelligence, a pattern, almost like a message. Her assistant Leo glanced at her worriedly. "Another alien message?" he asked. Mira shook her head. "Not exactly. This is more than that. It's like a warning. Something big is coming or already here, and it's aimed at us." "Do you mean the Galactic Council?" Leo asked hesitantly. Mira hesitated. The Council was more myth than reality to most humans. They knew of other species, but humans often thought themselves alone at the top. "Yes," she said finally. "I think the Council has issued a warning, and we may have already ignored it." Back on Earth, politicians and military leaders were preoccupied with expansion. The press was full of space mining achievements, Mars colony growth, and the latest starship trials. Few were concerned with diplomacy, and fewer still understood the consequences of angering civilizations far beyond human comprehension. The day the official communication arrived, it caused a stir, but only in select circles. A glowing blue sphere appeared over Earth's orbit, projecting a holographic message directly to the United Nations. The alien ambassador, a tall being with translucent skin that shimmered in colors no human eye could fully describe, spoke in a calm but firm voice. "People of Earth," the ambassador said, "the Galactic Council has observed your expansion. Your actions are reckless and dangerous. You have been warned in the past. This is your final notice. Alter your behavior or you will face exile from the galaxy." The room went silent. Journalists recorded the message in stunned awe, but Earth's leaders exchanged nervous smiles. "Well," said the Secretary General, trying to sound composed, "this is dramatic, but I'm sure they are bluffing. We've faced warnings before, from other species in our solar neighborhood. We have survived." Outside the council chamber, Mira Khan watched the message with dread. Her lab screens were filled with the energy readings she had been monitoring for months. "This isn't a bluff," she whispered. "They're serious, and if we ignore them, we may not survive." In the weeks that followed, the world reacted in many ways. Some scientists rallied behind Mira, urging caution. Some nations secretly scaled back expansion projects, afraid of provoking the Council. But most humans ignored the warning, driven by pride, curiosity, or greed. Mira tried to speak to the global leaders. She presented charts, projections, and the mysterious energy signature that seemed to pulse with intelligence. She explained that the Council could strike in ways humans could not predict, that their technology was far beyond anything Earth could hope to defend against. "Imagine entire colonies disabled in a moment," she said. "Imagine our satellites falling from orbit, our ships stranded, our communications lost. The Council can enforce exile without firing a single weapon." Her warnings were met with polite nods, then dismissal. "We appreciate your research, Dr. Khan," one official said. "But humanity cannot halt progress for fear of a warning. Our people are exploring, discovering, expanding. That is our nature. That is who we are, Mira's heart sank. Humans' confidence, so often their greatest strength, was now their weakness. Ignoring a warning from the Galactic Council was not arrogance. It was hubris. Despite the politics, Mira did not give up. She and her team worked day and night to understand the energy signal. It was not merely a threat, it was a puzzle. And Mira believed that solving it could mean the difference between survival and destruction. She and Leo spent long hours in the Aurora 7 lab, analyzing the signal. It pulsed in regular intervals, patterns that seemed almost musical. Mira tried to mimic the frequency, sending pulses back into deep space. The result was immediate. The signal changed, as if acknowledging her response. "It's alive," Leo whispered, eyes wide. "No," Mira said carefully. "Not alive. Intelligent. It's testing us. It wants to see if we can respond correctly. If we fail, the consequences could be catastrophic." Meanwhile, in orbit, civilian ships continued their missions, unaware of the subtle warning embedded in the signal. One mining vessel, the Horizon, was caught in a brief but violent gravitational anomaly, losing half of its cargo and narrowly avoiding destruction. Reports of strange disruptions in communications and navigation systems began to spread. Some called it space weather, but Mira knew better. The Council's patience was running out. Far across the galaxy, a vote had begun. Exile was on the table. Every species present had their reasons. Some feared human expansion, others admired it but feared recklessness, and a few argued for leniency. The vote would not be revealed until the Council decided. For now, humans had one final chance to heed the warning. On Earth, few paid attention. Daily life continued. Children played under the sun, unaware that the galaxy itself had taken notice. Scientists worked in labs focused on discovery. Politicians debated budgets and policies. And Mira Khan watched the stars, knowing humanity stood on the edge of a cliff, and that one wrong step could send them plummeting into exile. In a quiet moment, Mira looked at the holographic projection of the Council's warning. She whispered almost to herself, "They've given us a chance, but we have to listen this time. We can't ignore them. Not if we want to survive." The stars were no longer silent observers. For months, strange events had rattled human space operations. Satellites flickered unpredictably, communications dropped without explanation, and mining drones on Mars and the Moon reported sudden power failures. Most of these incidents were dismissed as technical malfunctions. Only Dr. Mira Khan and a small team of scientists suspected something far greater. On Mars, the colony of Ares Station experienced the first undeniable proof of the Council's wrath. The colony had just completed its expansion of oxygen farms and solar arrays when the solar panels suddenly lost all power. Emergency systems activated, but the colony shuddered under the invisible force. Gravity manipulators used for cargo transport went haywire, sending crates and tools tumbling across the habitat. Commander Elias Rourke, a veteran human officer, shouted orders, trying to maintain control. "Everyone stay calm. Secure the oxygen lines. Check the power cores." The colonists scrambled, working with grim determination. Humans were remarkable at crises, but even their resilience had limits. Mira's warning echoed in Elias's mind. If we fail to respond, the consequences could be catastrophic. Back in orbit, the Aurora 7 research station served as humanity's early warning hub. Mira and Leo monitored every anomaly. The readings were clear. A massive energy field, controlled with precision, was being deployed near the inner solar system. It wasn't aimed at destruction yet, but it was testing human responses, probing weaknesses, and destabilizing operations wherever humans relied on predictable physics. "It's like the galaxy itself is warning us," Leo said, voice tense. "And we keep ignoring it." Mira didn't answer immediately. She was analyzing the patterns, trying to predict the next strike. The energy pulses followed a logic that humans might barely understand, but one that could be decoded. Meanwhile, on Earth, life went on with a false sense of normalcy. Cities buzzed with cars, spacecraft launched daily, and governments held meetings debating mining rights on distant asteroids. Only a few scientific councils took notice of the disturbances. Among them, Mira's warnings reached the ears of influential figures, but fear was rare. Arrogance dominated. Humanity believed itself unstoppable. Then came the first unambiguous strike. A convoy of cargo freighters traveling between Mars and Jupiter suddenly lost propulsion. Engines failed simultaneously across multiple ships and gravity fields fluctuated wildly, sending ships spinning uncontrollably. In the vast darkness of space, only quick thinking and human ingenuity prevented catastrophe. Captain Lena Herrera, aboard the freighter Orion's Wake, fought against the chaos. With the ship tumbling, she barked orders relying on experience and improvisation. Divert auxiliary power to the stabilizers. Override the autopilot. Brace for impact. The crew worked in perfect synchronization. Using manual controls and sheer willpower, they corrected the trajectory and avoided collision with the nearby asteroid belt. The freighter was damaged, but the crew survived. Back on Aurora 7, Mira's face was pale as she watched the telemetry. "They're escalating," she said. "It's no longer a test. The Council is sending a clear message. Stop expanding or we will force you to stop." She convened an emergency communication with Earth's defense leaders. "We need to understand what we're dealing with," she urged. "This isn't natural. It's precise, intelligent, and it's testing us." General Marcus Talbot, in charge of Earth space defenses, leaned back skeptical. "Dr. Khan, we appreciate your input, but humans have faced cosmic threats before. Solar flares, meteor showers, rogue comets, we always survive. This test won't change anything." Mira's frustration mounted. "This is not nature, General. This is the Galactic Council. They warned us. And if we continue to ignore them, the first warning will become the last." Even as she spoke, another anomaly struck. A research satellite orbiting near Saturn's rings suddenly went dark. Instruments failed and the crew lost control of its position. The satellite, designed to study gas compositions, began spiraling toward the rings, a delicate operation now on the edge of disaster. "Activate emergency stabilizers," Mira ordered over the secure channel. "Use every system you have. Manual overrides now." Technicians fought desperately. Power rerouted, thrusters fired, and the satellite finally stabilized, skimming past Saturn's rings with minimal damage. The relief in the room was palpable, but Mira did not smile. This was only the beginning. On Mars, the news of these incidents spread quickly. Colonists realized the anomalies were not random. They were coordinated, testing their response under pressure. Panic gripped some, but most of humanity's best minds, engineers, and soldiers responded with ingenuity, turning disasters into learning experiences. Commander Elias Roark, reporting to Earth's defense network, acknowledged Mira's theory. "She's right. Whoever or whatever is doing this knows exactly how our systems work. But humans can adapt. We always do." In orbit, Mira focused on decoding the energy signature. Weeks of calculations, simulations, and experiments revealed patterns. Pulses timed with human technological reliance, probing weaknesses, and responding to human corrections. It was as if the Council wanted to see how humans would handle chaos, whether they would panic or innovate. Mira turned to Leo. "This is their challenge. If we fail, they can strike harder. If we succeed, they may reconsider our fate." Back on Earth, politicians remained divided. Some began to take precautionary measures, halting deep space mining and reinforcing communication systems, while others dismissed the incidents as coincidence. The general public, mostly unaware of the gravity, continued life with optimism, enjoying the marvels of human expansion. Yet humanity's strength lay in adversity. When a fleet of supply ships faced simultaneous engine failures near Jupiter's moons, human ingenuity saved them. Engineers crafted makeshift propulsion systems using raw materials on board. Crews coordinated repairs across multiple ships, sharing knowledge in real time. Each success reinforced the human ability to survive, adapt, and overcome. It was during these crises that Mira realized something extraordinary. The energy signature wasn't just testing physical systems, it was testing the human mind. The Council wanted to see if humans could adapt, innovate, and unite in the face of a challenge they could not fully understand. "Humans are different," Leo whispered one night. "Other species might panic, retreat, or surrender. But we fight back. We learn, we adapt," Mira nodded. "Yes, that's exactly it. This is why they fear us, but also why they watch us. Our strength is not just technology. It's creativity, persistence, and the ability to rise from near disaster." Despite their ingenuity, the cost of ignoring the warning became clear. Lives were lost, Colonies were damaged and resources were strained. Humanity's arrogance had drawn the Council's attention, and now every success was a fragile victory. On the moon, a mining station reported an anomaly. Equipment lifted off the ground as if gravity itself had been warped. Miners held on desperately, shouting orders, while engineers manually counteracted the forces. By the time the anomaly ended, the station had minor structural damage but no casualties. Mira studied the data. Each strike is designed to see how we respond under pressure. The first warning was verbal. The second is active, and if we ignore this one, the price will be higher. Across Earth and its colonies, a pattern emerged. Humans were being tested, challenged, and pushed to the edge. Yet each time, human innovation saved the day. Pilots devised new navigation algorithms. Engineers created emergency power systems. Colonists built improvised tools to stabilize habitats. In a quiet moment aboard Aurora 7, Mira spoke to Leo. They gave us the chance to prove ourselves. So far, we have. But this is only the beginning. If humanity wants to survive, we must learn faster than ever before. Leo frowned. And what if we fail? Mira's eyes were steady. Then we pay the price. But I refuse to believe humanity will fail. We've never failed before. As the energy pulses continued, humanity adapted, learned, and innovated. Each anomaly became a lesson. Each near disaster a demonstration of resilience. The stars seemed closer now, not just in distance, but in awareness. Humans had drawn attention, and for better or worse, they were proving their worth. The first strike had been terrifying, but it revealed something important. Humans could survive anything the galaxy threw at them, if they worked together, thought creatively, and refused to give in to fear. The Council had begun its test, and humanity had responded with courage, determination, and brilliance. But even as Mira Khan worked tirelessly to understand the pulses, she knew something vital. The galaxy's patience was not infinite. One mistake, one misstep, and the first strike would become the last. The Galactic Council's chambers were a spectacle no human could have imagined. Endless tiers of alien delegates stretched across a vast glowing hall. Each species sat in forms unique and extraordinary. Some hovered without wings, some shimmered like living crystals, and others moved with 6 limbs or more, communicating with sounds humans could barely hear. Above all, the council chamber hummed with energy, an almost tangible intelligence, like the building itself was aware of every presence. In the center, a massive projection displayed Earth. Blue oceans, green continents, and the tiny dots of human colonies orbited in their solar system. Every anomaly, every human response to the previous strikes had been recorded and analyzed. Now the council debated humanity's fate. Humans are reckless, said Therrell, a reptilian delegate with amber eyes. They expand without permission. They manipulate planetary resources with no consideration for consequences. They ignore warnings. A softer voice, melodic and high-pitched, spoke next. But they are resilient. Their response to the containment protocols shows ingenuity unlike any other species we've observed. The debate raged. Some argued for exile, fearing human unpredictability. Others argued for leniency, impressed by human creativity and adaptability. The vote was scheduled to occur at the end of the debate. The council had agreed to allow humans a final chance, a single opportunity to appeal, to demonstrate that they could cooperate, or to convince the galaxy that exile would be unjust. Back on Earth, humans were unaware of the exact vote, though rumors of a galactic decision had reached a few of the more informed leaders. Dr. Mira Khan, however, had discovered fragments of the council's communication signals. By decoding the patterns in the energy pulses, she realized that a vote was underway and that the council was observing humanity's every move in real time. She rushed to a meeting with Earth's highest leaders. The room buzzed with tension. Secretary General Lorne tried to maintain composure. Dr. Khan, what is it this time? They're voting, Mira said, her voice urgent. The council is deciding Earth's fate now, and they are watching us. Every action we take, every decision will influence the vote. If we fail to respond correctly, exile is inevitable. General Marcus Talbot scoffed. And what exactly do you suggest we do? Bow down and beg? No, Mira said firmly. We show our potential. We demonstrate cooperation, intelligence, and adaptability. We show them we can rise to their challenges without compromising human integrity. Some leaders nodded reluctantly. Others remained skeptical. Mira did not care. They had no choice but to act, and time was running short. Across Earth, diplomats, scientists, and engineers mobilized. Messages were transmitted to colonies, instructing them to cooperate with any energy anomalies, maintain order, and report solutions quickly. The plan was simple: show the Council that humanity could respond intelligently, as one species united by ingenuity and courage. Meanwhile, in orbit aboard Aurora 7, Mira monitored the energy signature more closely than ever. The pulses had begun to change in response to human activity. It was clear: the Council's system could detect innovation and adaptability. Every successful adaptation, every creative solution strengthened humanity's appeal. On Mars, Ares station engineers built a new stabilizer system using raw materials salvaged from mining equipment. The station had been affected by previous anomalies, but this time, the colonists were ready. They adjusted gravity fields manually, recalibrated power distribution, and transmitted the results to Earth in real time. Commander Elias Rourke smiled with pride. "The Council is watching," he said. "Let's make sure they see the best of us." On the Moon, a similar effort was underway. Mining stations that had been disabled before were now coordinated like clockwork. Workers repaired broken systems, shared techniques, and worked together with precision. Each successful maneuver was recorded by Mira's instruments and fed into the Council's monitoring system. But it was not just engineering. Diplomacy mattered too. Mira coordinated with human representatives to draft messages to the Council, explaining human culture, ingenuity, and resilience. The messages highlighted human creativity, the ability to recover from disaster, and the willingness to learn from mistakes. "These are not excuses," Mira told the diplomats. "This is our proof. We are showing them we can be trusted. We are demonstrating what humanity truly is." Back in the Council chamber, alien delegates watched the live transmissions with interest. Some were impressed by the humans' ability to adapt so quickly. Others remained wary, reminding their colleagues that a single failure could undo all progress. The debate grew tense, the voting imminent. On Earth, the final moments before the vote were chaotic. Leaders, scientists, and military officers worked together, coordinating colonies, transmitting solutions, and ensuring that humanity's responses were flawless. Mira and Leo stayed at Aurora 7, analyzing data and preparing contingency plans. "Every detail matters," Mira said. "Every successful adaptation counts toward convincing them. If we fail to act intelligently in even one sector, the vote could swing against us." Leo nodded. "And if they exile us, it's the end. Entire colonies could be lost." "Yes," Mira said. "That is why we cannot fail. Humanity must rise to the challenge." The Council's vote began. Each species cast their judgment, taking into account humanity's actions, resilience, and responses. The tally would decide Earth's fate: full exile, conditional exile, or leniency with oversight. While the votes were tallied, a new anomaly appeared near Saturn. A fleet of transport ships experienced sudden propulsion failures, threatening collision with the rings. It was the final test. Colonists and crews worked frantically, improvising new thruster alignments and rerouting power. Mira and her team guided them in real time, providing calculations and strategies. Hours passed like minutes. Every success was noted by the Council, every failure magnified. Tension on Earth was palpable. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, while politicians and military leaders coordinated resources. Humans had risen to the occasion, but it was a delicate balance. One misstep could undo weeks of effort. Finally, the vote was revealed. Earth had not been immediately condemned. Instead, the Council had imposed a 1-month window. Humanity would have one last chance to fully demonstrate cooperation and adaptability. During this month, humans must prove that they could respond intelligently to any challenge the galaxy presented. Dr. Mira Khan's eyes widened. "A month," she whispered. "That's all we have. 1 month to convince the galaxy that humanity is worthy of survival." On Earth, the news spread quickly. Some were relieved, seeing the decision as leniency. Others were terrified, realizing the enormity of the task ahead. Humanity had survived the first strikes, but the Council's scrutiny was far from over. In the colonies, engineers, scientists, and leaders united like never before. On Mars, a council of station commanders coordinated with Earth, sharing strategies, building contingency systems, and preparing for anomalies. On the moon, mining operations were streamlined and safety protocols were revised in real time. Mira continued her work aboard Aurora 7, decoding and interpreting the energy signature. She realized that it was not just testing technology, it was testing human psychology, coordination, and creativity. The Council wanted to see whether humans could overcome chaos, adapt to unexpected challenges, and work together as a species. "It's more than a test," Mira said to Leo. "It's a trial by the galaxy. If we succeed, we show that humans are capable of more than even we know. If we fail, exile will be inevitable." Leo's face was grim. "Do you really think we can succeed?" Mira nodded firmly. "We have no choice. Humans have survived worse. We will adapt, innovate, and rise. That's what we do." As the month began, humanity entered a new era of coordination and preparation. Every colony, every ship, every scientist and engineer was focused on survival. Humans were no longer just explorers. They were participants in a test that spanned the galaxy, and the stakes had never been higher. The Council watched, waiting to see if humanity would rise to the challenge. Across Earth and its colonies, humans worked tirelessly, combining intellect, courage, and creativity. They built new technologies, solved complex problems, and adapted to anomalies faster than ever before. It was a race against time, against an intelligence far beyond anything humanity had known. And as Mira Khan gazed at the stars, she felt a mixture of fear and determination. Humanity had been given a chance, a final chance. They could either rise to the occasion and secure their place in the galaxy, or they could fail and pay the ultimate price. The first strike had tested their courage. The vote had tested their fate. And now, humanity had 1 month to prove that they were more than reckless explorers. They were a species capable of intelligence, unity, and resilience. The galaxy waited. The galaxy's patience had limits. Humanity had survived the first strikes and navigated the tense vote, but the Council was no longer testing. They were enforcing. The anomalies escalated in intensity, stretching from Earth's orbit to the farthest colonies. Satellites tumbled from space, orbital machinery spun out of control, and entire mining stations on the Moon and Mars trembled under invisible forces. Dr. Mira Khan watched the data feed from Aurora 7. Her stomach churned as she realized the Council's power was immense. They weren't destroying humanity yet, but they were sending a clear message. Continue to ignore the warnings. And the next strike could be deadly. "It's worse than I thought," Mira said to Leo. "They're not just testing. They're teaching. And if we misstep, we will pay." Leo glanced at her, worry clear in his eyes. "Do we have enough time to respond? To adapt?" Mira's jaw tightened. "We have no choice. We adapt or humanity dies." On Mars, Ares Station faced its most dangerous challenge yet. A sudden gravitational anomaly distorted the colony's structures. Habitats tilted, oxygen lines kinked, and solar arrays lifted violently from their anchors. Colonists scrambled, holding onto railings, adjusting stabilizers, and repairing critical systems. Commander Elias Rourke barked orders over the intercom. "Everyone stay calm. Prioritize life support. Use emergency stabilizers now." The colonists worked in perfect coordination. Engineers rerouted power, scientists calculated structural stress, and technicians manually controlled gravity fields. Despite the chaos, human ingenuity prevailed. The habitat stabilized and no lives were lost. Yet the cost was already visible. Supplies were depleted, equipment strained to its limits, and morale was fragile. Humanity had survived, but barely. Meanwhile, near Jupiter, a fleet of cargo ships faced a coordinated strike. Engines failed, navigation systems froze, and communication arrays went offline. Captain Lena Herrera, commanding the freighter Orion's Wake, worked with her crew to improvise a solution. They manually recalibrated propulsion systems using raw materials on board. Thrusters fired unevenly, but the ship regained control. "Every time they hit us, we adapt," Lena said, voice steady. "We can survive this." Back on Earth, governments realized that humanity's hubris had provoked the Council's actions. Policies of reckless expansion were re-examined. Colonization efforts slowed, deep space mining was temporarily halted, and engineers began focusing on stabilizing the solar system rather than pushing outward. Dr. Mira Khan coordinated with Earth's defense networks, sending instructions to colonies on emergency stabilization, energy manipulation, and anomaly prediction. Every successful adaptation strengthened humanity's position in the Council's observation, but every failure carried a heavy weight. The Council escalated further. Invisible gravitational waves manipulated asteroid belts, sending massive rocks on unpredictable paths. Earth's orbital stations had to dodge, redirect, and neutralize debris. In some cases, improvised kinetic shields and nuclear propulsion systems saved the day. Each action was a demonstration of human creativity under pressure. It's a test of intelligence, not just technology, Mira explained to Leo. They want to see if humans can think, adapt, and act together. They want to see if we are worthy of survival. Despite success after success, losses mounted. Small colonies on distant moons lost power permanently. Supply ships were damaged or stranded, yet humans did not despair. They repaired, rebuilt, and improvised faster than ever before. The turning point came when the Council targeted Earth's orbit directly. Communication satellites failed one by one, threatening to cut off Earth from Mars and moon colonies. Power grids flickered. Spaceports risked collapse. It was the moment humanity faced its harshest trial yet. Mira and Leo worked without pause, calculating solutions to reroute energy, stabilize satellites, and re-establish communications. Engineers on Earth manually recalibrated orbital machinery, while crews in orbit risked their lives performing repairs. "Do whatever it takes," Mira said. "We cannot fail. Every failure is a step closer to exile." The operation lasted hours. Humans improvised solutions, rebuilt failing systems, and coordinated across planets in a display of unity and intelligence that was unprecedented. By the end, satellites were stabilized, communications restored, and energy systems realigned. Humanity had survived once again, but the message was clear. The galaxy's patience had limits, and hubris came with a price. Meanwhile, Mira's analysis of the energy signature revealed something astonishing. The Council's anomalies could be harnessed. If humans could manipulate the energy field, they could stabilize entire planets, create advanced propulsion systems, and gain knowledge far beyond current understanding. The energy signature was not merely a weapon, it was a challenge, a gift, and a test of human intelligence. "This is incredible," Mira told Leo. "If we can control it, we can turn near destruction into our greatest advantage. But it's risky. One mistake and it could destroy everything." Leo nodded, understanding the gravity. "So we can either use it wisely or pay the ultimate price." Back on Mars, Commander Rourke convened his team. "We've survived every strike so far," he said. "But this is different. We have the chance to harness what's coming, to turn a threat into a tool. We cannot waste it." Across the solar system, humans began experimenting with the energy signature. They redirected gravitational anomalies to stabilize satellites, repurposed energy pulses to power failing stations, and used the Council's own test to reinforce human systems. Each experiment succeeded, often in ways no one had imagined, demonstrating creativity, courage, and adaptability. On Earth, political leaders finally recognized the importance of cooperation. Nations put aside rivalry, pooling resources to support colonies, share knowledge, and stabilize systems. Humanity was no longer reckless. It was focused, united, and prepared. Despite the progress, the toll was visible. Lives had been lost, resources drained, and the constant pressure weighed heavily on everyone. Humans realized that ignoring warnings had nearly cost them everything. Their hubris had drawn the galaxy's wrath, and now they understood the true meaning of consequence. Dr. Mira Khan addressed Earth's leaders during a high-priority conference. "We've survived because of ingenuity and courage," she said. "But we've paid the price. This is the cost of ignoring the Council's warning. From now on, humanity must act with wisdom, foresight, and unity. Only then can we survive and thrive in the galaxy." General Talbot, once dismissive, nodded. "She's right. We've learned the hard way, but humanity has shown resilience, creativity, and determination. We can turn this challenge into an advantage." In orbit, Mira and Leo continued their work. They refined methods to harness the energy signature, stabilize systems, and protect human colonies. The final tests were underway, and humans had proven time and again that they could adapt, innovate, and survive against impossible odds. Captain Lena Herrera reflected on the months of chaos. "We've lost much," she admitted, "but we've gained something greater. We've learned that humans are not just explorers or colonizers. We are survivors, thinkers, and creators. We rise when faced with the impossible. Across the colonies, humans began rebuilding with new knowledge. Damaged stations were fortified. New systems designed to handle anomalies, and coordination between planets became seamless. The energy signature, once a threat, was now a tool for advancement. Mira looked out from Aurora 7 toward the stars. The galaxy had tested humanity, pushed them to the brink, and shown what could happen when arrogance went unchecked. Yet in the face of destruction, humans had demonstrated brilliance, unity, and perseverance. "The Council will watch the results," she said. "We've paid the price for our mistakes, but we've shown that humans are capable of far more than they themselves realized. If we continue like this, we may survive. We may even thrive." Leo smiled, though exhaustion lined his face. "We've come a long way. But the final test is still ahead. One mistake and everything could fall apart." Mira nodded. "Yes, but humans have one thing no other species has: creativity in the face of chaos. That is our greatest strength. And if we survive, the galaxy will have to respect it." The stars seemed to shine a little brighter that night. Humanity had endured strikes that could have destroyed them. They had adapted, innovated, and overcome challenges far beyond their imagination. But they also understood the cost, the sacrifices, the lives lost, the fragile balance of survival. The first strike had been a warning. The Exile vote had been a judgment. And the Council's enforcement had shown humanity the consequences of hubris. Yet even after all this, humans were not broken. They were stronger, wiser, and united. And in the darkness of space, amidst the chaos and danger, they prepared for the final chapter of their trial. The galaxy had made its move. Now humanity would make theirs. The galaxy held its breath. After the first warning, the strikes, and the month-long scrutiny, humanity faced the final phase of its trial. The Galactic Council was watching every move, every decision, and every response across the solar system. Dr. Mira Khan, aboard Aurora 7, observed the massive energy signature from space. Unlike before, the signal now seemed responsive to human activity, almost like it was waiting for them to take the next step. This was the moment she had feared and anticipated, the Council's ultimate test. Leo approached her, a mixture of exhaustion and determination in his eyes. "So, this is it. One chance to prove ourselves." "No margin for error," Mira nodded. "Yes, but we've learned so much from the past month. We've faced chaos, adapted, and survived. This is humanity's moment to show the galaxy who we are. On Earth, leaders and citizens prepared with a unified effort. For the first time in history, every major nation set aside political differences to support a single mission: demonstrate humanity's intelligence, creativity, and resilience to the Council. Spaceports buzzed with activity, engineers calibrated systems, and scientists coordinated solutions to potential anomalies. Every human on Earth, Mars, and the Moon felt the pressure and the responsibility. Meanwhile, colonies across the solar system implemented advanced contingency systems, improvising solutions to anomalies that had previously crippled them. On Mars, Commander Elias Rourke led a team stabilizing habitats in the face of a sudden gravitational pulse. Engineers rerouted energy from the solar arrays to reinforce life support. Miners and technicians collaborated, using every scrap of available material to protect critical systems. "Focus on precision," Elias instructed. "Every calculation, every repair, every decision counts. The galaxy is watching." The Moon's colonies coordinated with Earth and Mars, sharing real-time data to predict anomalies and respond before they escalated. Even the most minor incidents were corrected with rapid, creative solutions. Humans had become a species operating as a single, cohesive organism, each individual contributing their ingenuity and courage to the greater mission. Dr. Mira Khan noticed a pattern in the energy signature. It was designed not only to test technical skill, but also to measure human creativity and problem-solving under pressure. She realized that the Council wanted to see humans take control of the very forces they had feared, to turn a threat into a tool. "This is it," Mira said to Leo. "We can harness this. If we succeed, we not only survive, we show the galaxy the full potential of humanity." Leo nodded. "And if we fail?" Mira's expression was firm. "We won't fail. Humans have never given up in the face of impossible odds." With careful calculation, Mira and her team began using the energy signature to stabilize orbiting satellites, colonies, and even entire planetary systems. Gravity pulses that once threatened to destroy stations were redirected to reinforce habitats. Power surges were converted into energy for life support and propulsion systems. Each success was logged and transmitted to the Council in real time. On Jupiter's moons, Captain Lina Herrera led a fleet of freighters and transport vessels. They faced simultaneous anomalies affecting propulsion and navigation. Using emergency protocols and improvised repairs, crews manually corrected thruster alignments and rerouted energy to maintain course. Ships that would have been lost were saved through ingenuity and coordination. "Every challenge is a test," Lina said over the intercom, "and humans don't fail tests. Not if we work together." As the final days of the Council's observation approached, humans performed feats that no alien species had anticipated. They combined science, technology, and creativity to stabilize entire sections of the solar system. The energy signature, once seen as a threat, became a tool for growth. Humans had learned to control it, adapt to it, and use it to enhance their civilization. Back on Earth, Dr. Mira Khan presented the culmination of humanity's achievements to the leaders. "We've not only survived the anomalies," she said, "we've mastered them. Every challenge, every obstacle has strengthened us. We've turned the Council's test into proof that humans are intelligent, resilient, and capable of greatness." Across the Council's chamber, alien delegates watched the transmissions with astonishment. The humans had not only adapted, they had exceeded expectations. Where other species might have failed, humans had innovated. Where fear could have paralyzed, humans had acted with courage. The Council could no longer deny humanity's potential. Finally, the vote of judgment was announced. Every delegate cast their decision, considering human responses, creativity, and perseverance. The results were unanimous. Earth and its colonies were spared exile. The Council, recognizing human ingenuity and resilience, lifted the threat of punishment, placing humanity under conditional cooperation. They would now participate in galactic affairs with oversight, but as respected members, not as exiles. On Earth, the news spread like wildfire. Relief, joy, and pride swept across the planet. Humanity had survived what seemed impossible, faced the wrath of the galaxy, and emerged stronger than ever. Dr. Mira Khan, Leo, and every engineer, pilot, and colonist knew the truth. This victory had been earned through courage, intelligence, and unity. Commander Elias Rourke addressed his team on Mars. "We've faced the impossible, and we've prevailed. Let this be a lesson. Humans are resilient, creative, and determined. We can survive anything the galaxy throws at us. We can thrive together." Captain Lina Herrera echoed the sentiment from her ship near Jupiter. "We've learned the power of coordination, innovation, and courage. Humanity is stronger than any challenge we face, and the galaxy now knows it too." Dr. Mira Khan, looking at the stars from Aurora 7, reflected on the journey. Humanity had ignored warnings, faced destruction, and endured incredible challenges. Yet they had proven their worth. The trials had revealed their flaws, but also their greatest strengths: creativity, adaptability, courage, and unity. "The galaxy has judged us," Mira said softly to Leo, "and humanity has triumphed. We survived not by luck, but by rising to every challenge with intelligence and courage." Leo smiled. "So what now?" Mira gazed out at the stars. "Now we continue to explore. But we do so wiser, stronger, and united. We've faced the galaxy's greatest test and proven our place among the stars. And nothing, not even exile, can take that away." Across the solar system, humans celebrated quietly but meaningfully. They repaired damaged colonies, strengthened defenses, and prepared for the future. Every success had been hard-won, every victory earned through ingenuity and bravery. The cost had been high, but the reward was far greater: recognition, survival, and a place in the galaxy. The stars seemed brighter that night. Humanity had faced annihilation and emerged triumphant. They had learned that ignoring warnings could be dangerous, but responding with intelligence and unity could turn near destruction into opportunity. Dr. Mira Khan knew the journey was far from over. Humanity would continue to face challenges, both known and unforeseen. But now they had proven something vital. Together, humans could overcome anything. The Council's energy signature had tested them, struck them, and forced them to rise. Humanity had learned, adapted, and grown. They had turned the galaxy's threat into a demonstration of their greatest strength: resilience, intelligence, and courage.